Wednesday edition of the program Newdawn. First, we have Honorable Shola Adams. Honorable Shola Adams is a member of the Ogun State House of Assembly. He's the Deputy Chief Whip and, of course, Chairman House Committee on Youth, Sports and Empowerment. Good morning. You're welcome to the program.
Good morning, sir. Thanks for having me.
And, of course, joining him on today's edition of the program is Comrade Abdul-Jabbar Ayela Agbe, who is the State Chairman, National Youth Council of Nigeria. Yes, Ogun State Chapter. Good morning, you're welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
All right.
Good morning, viewers at home.
Charity.
I'm trying to look at our gentlemen in the studio, and my first question is, what is the age range of anybody categorized as a youth?
Well, youth, maybe I should start from the background before I go to age. You know, youth, definition of youth is, there is something, usually some scholars will say, youth, everything that is a social concept is always a victim of definitional pluralism. So while to some people they will say, oh, from this age to this age are youth, to some others they will say, oh, from this age to this age are youth. But to United Nations categorize youth as anybody from ages of 15 to 24. Yeah. African Youth Charter chooses 18 to 35. Okay. And the Nigerian Youth Policy, the Youth Policy of Nigeria, chooses 18 to 35 as well. Okay. They go in line with the African Charter. Of course, there is a kind of review, particularly for the National Youth Policy in Nigeria, which puts it at 15 to 29. But even the body that now coordinates all the youth organizations is the National Youth Council of Nigeria. In National Youth Council Constitution, National Youth Council Constitution puts it as 18 to 35 years. So when you are still within the age range of 18 to 35, it is only within that age range that you can aspire to become anything. Of course, you know, in this part of the world, we are a kind of a religious set of people. In all our religious books, the Bible and Quran, they limit the age of youth to 40. Okay. So from all perspectives, we can say at least from 15 and to 40, you are still within the age range of youth. Of course, we have our leaders and our brothers who will say, oh no, there is what we call youth at heart.
So I was going to that because I think Makinde is a youth at heart.
So youth at heart, people who have passion for youth development. So, but going by whatever perspective, at maximum, at 40, we have that is a agent of youth, but going by the policies, 18 to 35.
Honorable Adams, yes, do you agree with what he said? Because we know that in some quarters where there is a youth organization, their leaders most times are above the age of 40. Yeah. So do we say they are youth or they have the interest of youthful issues at that?
According to UN submission, stated that between the age of 15, 18 to 25. But when it comes to African context, you will discover that we see a man of 60 years still representing the youth. All because they have this youth enthusiasm or the youth background, and by virtue of that, they are not willing to leave that age range. You will see some people with the age of 50 to 60 years, they will still regard them as Mama 35, Baba 40, and all that. All because they have this energy of the youth in them. It's like inbuilt. It's like inbuilt. When you have that inbuilt energy, even at 70, they will still regard you as father of youth or youth leader. So I want to agree with him to some extent, because when you look at the African context, you will discover that virtually everybody wants to talk to a youth so that they can have the benefits the youth are getting here and there.
So let's go to the awareness of today.
Okay.
Today is the International Youth Day. What really is the day meant to be?
Well, to me, it is meant to celebrate the youth all over the world. The day has been carved out for the youth. Just like as we have Father's Day, Mother's Day, International Day and all that, the youth, International Youth Day is carved for the youth to appreciate them, also to celebrate them all over the world. So for me, that International Youth Day should be maintained, and also to encourage the youth to participate in both political, social, and economic activities in any part of the world.
Okay, Abdul Jabbar, tell me what you think our viewers should know about this day. Do you think this day is just for awareness only, or it is for other youth to know that there are some group of youths that are doing their bit and they should come online?
Oh, thank you very much. The essence of this day, like the Honorable Atradi said, is to create awareness about the efforts that youth are making everywhere in the world. Of course, we give it to United Nations. It is in the recognition of the efforts of young people, the impact young people are making around the world that make the United Nations to settle for a day like this. Of course, we all know that youth are the foundation of any society. Their energy, their innovation, their creative talent define the pace of development and security of any nation. It is when the hope and aspiration of a youth, the hope and aspiration of any nation is assured when youth have a stable mind. So it is in recognition of all those impact and contributions of young people world over that makes the United Nations to come up with a day like this. On a day like this, we go around, engage young people, tell them what those roles they can play to bring a better society, those roles, those impact they can make either in their community, at their state level, at national, and that can then affect international level. So a day like this is set aside to create more awareness about impact that young people can make to better the lot of their society.
Okay, youth legislative engagement for the evidence of democracy is the theme in the states. What are you trying to achieve there, Jabbar?
Yeah, we come to realization that, of course, the global theme is youth engagement. Now we narrow it down to legislative engagement, because we know that, well, maybe from my own background as a student of political science, we realize that institution of legislature is the symbol of democracy. It is, of course, we have military rules not in Nigeria and some other parts of the world. When we have those system of administration, we will not have legislature. We have executive, we have judiciary. But it is when we have democracy, there will be legislature. Legislature is that arm of government that can actually bring about development. When society, we want to orientate our youth, want them to know the importance of legislature, how they can use legislative arm of government to affect society, to bring about the needed development in our society. So that is how we come to...
Honorable Adams, well, looking at you, definitely you are also a youth. You are a member of the Ogun Assembly. Do you think the youths are doing enough to walk the talk of that slogan, not too young to vote?
Thank you very much for that lovely question. I so much appreciate this present administration and even the last administration for deeming fit to pass the bill of not too young to law. And by virtue of that, I give room for the younger ones and our youth to participate in politics and economic, social, cultural activities in the country by giving them the room or by giving them the chance to be, to be a leader in any part of country or any part of the activities they found themselves. To come to the dividends of democracy through this global youth engagement in global activity. To me, I see it as an avenue for the youth to exhibit their God-given potential in all ramification, and also to engage the youth by giving them the opportunity to showcase their talent. By so doing, the leaders also, we know that the upcoming youth or the upcoming generation are also willing to take up the mantle of leadership in any form. And at the end of the day, you will discover that these youth we are even referring to are also warming up to take over the leadership of any country. Go to Western world, you will discover that within the age of 25 to 45, you see them as the president, the minister, the prime minister of a country. But when you come back to Nigeria here, you discover that a man of 70 years old is still vying for councillorship in his own ward. So by virtue of that, he's not giving room for the younger ones to partake in politics. Thank you.
Abu Jabal, I'll still stay with that question because it is germane, and we see that some youth go into politics these days just to get to some positions or to get some juicy appointments. Must a youth go into politics before he can make an impact?
Well, thank you very much. Young people do not need to go to politics before they can make impact. In fact, and to be sure, in Ogun State, we are maybe, well, as a young people, I cannot say I've seen it all, but we are, at least I've seen some little things. Let me give you a sample of COVID-19. We are not in government. During COVID-19, during the outbreak of COVID-19 in Ogun State, we directed the leaders of youth in all local government in different communities to troop out to sensitize people. Because we know it is not everybody in society that listens to radio. It is not everybody that have opportunity to be watching television. So we go to public places, markets, motor parks to sensitize people. In fact, I am very sure. In fact, it was Ogun State. It was youth in Ogun State that bet that across the nation. I recall that it was after we did our own in Ogun State, that youth in Kwara State, followed by Edo, Bauchi, and so on and so forth like that.
How did you monitor that?
No, at least we have a platform.
Okay.
National Youth Council of Nigeria spreads across all the 36 states and FCT in Nigeria. So at least we follow each other. In Ogun State, what we did was that when we are doing every of those activities, we record them and we send it on social media to encourage others to do so. So then, at least the question is, do you need to be in government because we can make impact? So we did all that. We are not in government. Of course, government is doing their own too, but we just felt there is need for us to complement government effort to make impact, to bring about the desired change in our society. So we took out to street at every community, every local government to sensitize our people, to let them see those dangers that are involved in this. And of course, we thank Almighty God. We reached, even when the lockdown started, that people cannot move about again. We now directed all youth that are affiliated to our local government branches at every local, because there is a section that we call community-based youth organizations. Okay. Those ones that reside within their community. We now directed them. Now there is lockdown. We cannot, if I'm in Ilaro, I cannot come to Abeokuta. There is no free movement again. Then, if you have the opportunity to be moving around, be monitoring what is going on around in your community. If you have any information, thank God for social media. Alert us. And to the glory of Almighty God, even when the government gave directive that companies to shut down, we still have some who didn't do that. And we ask those youth in those rural communities, go and just take pictures, send it to us, and to the glory of God, we send it across to the legal, law enforcement agencies, to government, and they swung into actions. Okay. And those people, those set of organizations, or even in different communities, were apprehended. So those are impacts that youth, and of course there are so many others. So
okay, Honorable Adams, what kind of registration is on the table, on the card, or what bills is on the card at the Oguseha Assembly to better the life of the youth, or for the youth to see the assembly as youth-friendly, especially from your end as the chairman of the House Committee on Youth?
So far so good. Ogun State House of Assembly have been trying their best to come up with different youth policies. At the same time, as the chairman, Youth, Sport and Employment Generation in the Ogun State House of Assembly, we've been able to do two bills. I've been able to sponsor two bills, which are Ogun State Trust Fund and Ogun State Sport Commission, which we believe that is going to engage the youth mostly in sporting activities throughout the state. And also for the trust fund, we passed that bill into law to make sure that the international body and corporate organization involved in sporting activities in Ogun State. You know, when you roll out in sporting activities, you will discover that most people that participate in those sporting activities are majorly the youth. Out of 100%, is about, the youth that will participate in that sporting activity will not be less than 80 to 95%, if I'm not mistaken. But still on that, we have done, we have passed so many resolutions. For example, there's a resolution we passed about 3 or 4 months ago, compelling all the indigenous company or any company that reside in any local area to employ nothing less than 30% of the youth in that community where they reside. We give an example in that process that, okay, when you look at some universities, they will give scholarship to indigenous or the indigene of that area, or probably giving them that privilege. When they give out a cut-off mark, the cut-off mark should be 280, they are going to give a consideration to the people residing in that community or in that state by giving them that little privilege. So in Ogun State House of Assembly, we've been trying as much as possible to be youth-friendly by pushing out different policies that we encourage the youth. We are coming up with another bill very soon, which I will not be permitted to say here now. Mr. Speaker dictates the rules of the House and everything. But I am very sure that the bills we are coming up with, the law we are coming up with, we encourage the youth more to participate in both the politics, the economic and social activities in the states.
Okay. Abdul Jabbar, as the chairman of the state chapter of the National Youth Council of Nigeria, what kind of symbiotic relationship exists between your organization in the state and the state government? How often do you meet? When you meet, what do you discuss? When you discuss, what are the effects, positive effects of those discussions on the youth?
Thank you very much. Well, to the glory of Almighty God, we have National Youth Council of Nigeria in Ogun State have a very good relationship with government of the day. Of course, we have good, and for so many times, we, to the glory of Almighty God, for so many times we have been able to engage government on several things, which to the glory of Almighty God, we have positive results. One of those things is this agricultural Dankobra program. The Dankobra program, when we were informed that the program will start, we met with Commissioner of Agriculture, we discussed it, because the people that are needed for those programs are young people, they are youth of Ogun State. So what are those things? We ask of them, at least because as a body, we are to protect the right and interest of the youth. We met them, asked for those things that are included in those programs, and when we were given, they roll it out, and we on our own part too, we assisted them in ensuring that we have a lot of our young people, because the challenges, in fact, in most of the engagement, interaction we had before those periods was that youth are not ready to take up those opportunities. And we told them that, oh, the youth we have in Ogun State today, of course, they are very ready. So, and to the glory of God, they engage a lot of our youth. And they even go to the extent of asking us, how can we trust those youth? Because, of course, because there have been issues, there have been situations where they will say, oh, they entrust this and this to some youth, and they didn't do well. But to the glory of Almighty God, our youth that are engaged in those programs, in the one for cassava, the one for rice production, the cotton farming that will start soon, have been doing wonderfully well. Just yesterday at Obafemi, at least they harvested the first batch of rice they planted, and more will still come. We have others, and so for us as an administration, we have been engaging government. We interface from time to time with the Ministry of Youth and Sport.
By law, are you entitled to subvention? Do you get the subvention regularly? What do you do with the subvention?
Oh, yes, we are entitled to subvention. And then we are the Ministry of Youth and Sport in Ogun State have prepared subvention for this year for all registered youth, youth organizations in Ogun State. And we are hoping that by the special grace of God, that has been forwarded to for approval, and we are hoping that by the special grace of God, that will be approved. Of course, for some times, we have not been getting. For some times we have not been getting.
We are hopeful now.
But we are hopeful now.
So as the chairman, is this the president?
State chairman of National
if you
Youth
get
Council.
the subvention, what are the things you will use the subvention for? Subvention for the National Youth Council of Nigeria Ogun State Charter.
Now, what we use subvention for is, we have done, for instance, when we want to come into office, we had our manifesto is based on tripod. One is entrepreneurship and education.
Okay.
sport and then wait, okay. So what we use it for is that we set up training for young people. For instance, even the fact that we have not gotten subvention now, we have started training. We discovered that we need government job cannot cannot sustain us. So that we need alternative, and the alternative we are looking towards a skill acquisition and entrepreneurship program. So we flag off Ogun Youth Skill Entrepreneurship Program, and we sought out for people that will assist us when we didn't have subvention. So when we have subvention, we say, for instance, in Yewa South, last week, we trained our youth in sanitizer production and aftershave. At Abeokuta North local government, about last month, it was widely reported in Ogun Youth Skill Entrepreneurship Program that we drawn. We selected 53 youths. 23 of them are to be trained in tailoring, some will be trained in hairdressing, some will be trained in graphic design, and then so those are things we do. We do skill acquisition program.
Honorable Adams, are you impressed with all this, and what will you take? How will you take all this back to the house to actually enhance the productivity of the youth from what he has said?
Yeah, I'm really, really impressed with what he just said. Because when they came to me, sometimes late last year, that they are the new ESCO of National Youth Council, and they presented their 3-point agenda, just like you already said. To me, I give them the backing and I encourage them. But to come to Ogun State House of Assembly, I said something earlier that we are planning to come up with a bill. But even before then, we are planning to do this resolution on youth trust fund. There's a law for the youth already. I think there's an agency for the youth already, but we are trying to come up with little amendment so that we can have youth trust fund. For example, with that youth trust fund, we can get subvention, just like he said, and support from international body regularly. This is this youth trust fund of a thing is applicable, and they are enjoying it in other states, like Lagos State, like Bayelsa State. There are so many states in the country. So once we have that youth trust fund in place, I mean the law in place, we can have those grants. We can get those grants from international body and even corporate bodies in the country. Because most of these corporate organizations, they don't want to relate with government direct. They prefer to liaise with the agency. They believe by giving out to agency, they will use the money or whatever they are giving them judiciously. So I totally agree with his policy and what they are planning to do, most especially in skill acquisition and entrepreneurship.
Okay, we're still looking at, Charity, you come with your question. We're still looking at International Youth Day. Today is International Youth Day, and of course the global theme is youth engagement for global action, while in Ogun State the theme is youth legislative engagement for dividends of democracy. Yes, you can be a youth, you can be we are all stakeholders in this policy, in this aim of giving our youth what they should be. You can also be part of the program. The number will be on the screen for you very soon, while we'll also continue to engage our guests with questions here. Honorable Shola Adams, Ogun State House Assembly member, and of course Deputy Chief Whip and Chairman House Committee on Youth, Sports and Empowerment. Then Comrade Abdul Jabbar Ayela Agbe, who is the State Chairman of National Youth Council of Nigeria here in Ogun State. We'll take this break. Before you know it, we'll be back. You're welcome back. We await your calls. As we told you, the number will be on your screen very, very soon. We are looking at today, the International Youth Day. Charity?
Abdul Jabbar, I want to let's look at issues surrounding the emancipation of youth globally, especially in Nigeria. We know that youth are termed as restless, and they are termed as being resourceful most times. Do you think this resourcefulness or this restlessness is being channeled to the appropriate quarters or appropriate factors that will encourage them to do more in the society?
Sorry, I can't get that question clearly.
I said the restlessness of youth.
Okay.
Are they using it positively?
You answer that question. I think we have a call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Your name?
This is Comrade from my
Okay, comrade, are you a youth too?
Yes, I'm a youth.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. You're welcome to the program.
I want to congratulate my youth chairman.
Okay.
Okay.
On the first ever International Day in this great administration.
Okay.
Kudos to him for all that he has been doing. I just want him to keep on.
All right.
Keep on running.
Okay.
He has been trying a lot for the youth.
Okay.
All right.
So I give it to him.
All right.
I congratulate all the youth in the state.
All right.
On behalf of the President Council of Nigeria, you are now that.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for that call.
It's the day of the youth. Why will you not allow you? Okay, Charity asked a question before the next call.
Can you answer that, please?
The restiveness of the youth,
You
is
see,
it used positively?
the aim of International Youth Day for this year, and probably for those other year, is to make actual engagement of youth. Of course, the youth have not been adequately engaged in our society. That is just the truth. Because, someone just said it long time ago here, that the space for youth, we have numbers of youth that have been trained, that have adequate education, that have adequate skill to affect their society. For instance, and one of the areas where one of the major areas where impact can be made quickly is in government. But the space in government, the older generation in government are not giving youth due space. They are not giving youth. You will still find in this day, in this millennium, that most of our major political parties, the youth leaders in major political parties, are people of 60, 70 years. So the activeness of youth are not adequately used.
Let's take this call before Charity comes with the question for Honorable Adams. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Your name?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. What is your name? Where are you calling us from?
Yes, my name is Comrade Adirele Michael. I'm calling from Western Camp.
Okay, you're welcome to the program. Quickly, comrade, you are my fellow comrade. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just want to. Hello?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yes, I would like to commend Comrade Adirele for those laudable ideas and initiatives as far as the state youth are concerned. I want to really appreciate him for those efforts. And I would also like to commend Honorable Shola Adams for his interest in youth of Ogun State. He has always been there for all our youth of Ogun State. I just want to keep on and God will continue to help him.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you
with that
for
call
that
from
call.
Redemption. Charity, maybe we have another. Maybe we just take one more, then you come with your question. To Honorable Adams. Yeah, go ahead.
Honorable Adams, let me go this way. Is youth participation in every sector of the economy, be it politics, governance, economy, commerce, is it a right for that youth to participate or a privilege?
You answer that after this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello. Oh, okay. Hello. Yeah, good morning. Go ahead. Your name? Where are you calling us from?
Okay, my name is Mr. Gafeko. I'm calling from Abeokuta.
You're welcome.
Good morning.
Go ahead.
Hello, sir.
We can hear you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, my name is Gafeko. I'm calling from Abeokuta. Okay, I want to appreciate Honorable Shola that taking the I said all what you said and the policies that we have to advocate on certain youth. But the non-indigenous Ogun State, and I was saying that I really enjoy the policies of Ogun State, especially those who have out of them that is affecting the youth. So I want to comment that on this day especially, which is the national international day. So I want to commend them for what they are doing. And the chairman that's there, sitting there too, and every other person that is there, including the moderator.
All right.
Thank you for what people are doing. Thank you for this business, and thank you for the sensitization of this.
Thank you very
All right,
much.
thank
All right.
you for
Thank
calling
you.
to-
All right, Honorable Adams will answer the question
Honorable
posed by.
Adams.
No.
Is
Is
it
it
a
a
privilege
right?
or right?
Right.
I don't believe it's a privilege. It should be a right for the youth to participate in politics and
Governance.
Governance.
And what have you? Yeah.
cross and view. And for me, when you are saying it's a privilege, it shows that you are not encouraging the youth. And when you look at what is happening now, all over the world, if youth did not participate in politics, how will they gather experience? And we know that this experience is not available in the market. It's what you acquire, it's what you pass through. So they should allow the youth also to be part of, discussion. I mean, it should be a meaningful engagement. Not that it shouldn't be a privilege, it should be a right. In anything the government is doing, in any country, in any state, in any local government, even in the community, they should engage the youth. This is a popular saying. Permit me to say this in my mother dialect. Pé òòṣà tá bá ń ṣe, tá bá ń lé àwọn ọmọ kéékèèké kúrò, òòṣà yẹn ò ní pẹ́ parun. It means that when you are doing something as I'm referring to the leaders, the elders. When you are doing something and you are chasing all the younger ones away, if that's such leader or the others pass away untimely or unexpected, how would they take over? How the youth take over? How would they know how to manage crisis? In terms of crisis, how would they know how to manage such crisis? So that goes down to that same question that it is not a privilege. It should be a right for youth to be engaged. There is another popular saying in Yoruba land. It says, "Ọmọdé gbọ́n, àgbà gbọ́n, la fi dá ilẹ̀ fẹ́." When we gather both the old and the youth ideology together, you will discover that in any society, that society will flourish, and they will have a robust economic activity or political activities in such.
Okay. Let's take this call. Let's you call. You still with him? Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning. Okay, go ahead. Okay, let's take the call is back. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning. Your name?
Good morning, Sir Kake.
Yeah. Your name?
My name is Commissioner Alon, the Conservative President of the Akindele.
Okay. Go ahead. It's the International Youth Day. I know that is we are in the mood of celebration.
With my comrade,
Okay.
Comrade Shola, and good sister.
All right.
According to the program today, the youth are very essential, and I want to say that the elders in the government today, they should remember that the youth are the core behind the elders. And if I I bet you we'll get to where we think we need to be there.
All right. Thank you for that
Thank you
contribution.
very much.
Thank you.
God bless you. Happy youth.
Day. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Abdul Jabbar, I was going to ask you that Honorable Adam said it is a right.
Yeah.
Then for youth, are they really prepared to use that right they have? Because we know that some youths are lazy in the sense that they don't equip themselves for any opportunity that might come their way. Do you think such youth should claim any right to anything in the society?
Well, thank you very much. Like I said the other time, the youth we have in Ogun State, I may not be able to talk of any other state. The youth we have in Ogun State today are very ready. You know, aside from having quality university and polytechnic or tertiary education, youth have gone ahead again to acquire more skills. You know, he asked about those things we use as subvention for the other time. So those are part of things we engaged in several skill acquisition program. Invite people who are who are youth coach, youth mentors, gather our youth together, give them leadership training. Aside from those that are engaged in vocational training, we do, aside from all that, we now do a kind of training for them too. Aside from those paper qualifications we have, that, oh, if you found yourself in House of Assembly, this, and these are what you should be doing.
Intellectual training.
Intellectual training. If you find yourself in government, this, and this are what you should be doing. So the youth that we have today are ready. And in fact, that is one of the reasons why we say youth legislative engagement of global action as our sub-team. As we are here discussing in the studio, so we have some of our comrades too in some other media stations. Aside from that, there are also practical sessions that we have today. Thanks to our honorables in the Ogun State House of Assembly, through Honorable Shola Adams and the Honorable Speaker, and so they offer themselves to give youth in their constituency. They offer themselves to give youth in their constituency leadership training that on how they can use legislature to drive home to benefit their immediate community. So youth. So
it's not all about. It's not just all about aluta.
No.
Let's take this call. Hello. Hello. Good morning. Yeah. Good morning. Your name? Saeed. You're welcome to the program. Okay, Ibrahim from Ijebu-Ife. Go ahead with your point or question. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that call.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for the call.
Okay, as we go on the program, Honorable Shola Adams, what will be your message to the youth this day as the Chairman House Committee on Youth, Sports and Employment Generation?
My message for the youth on this International Youth Day is for the youth to come up with a very robust program and also to engage themselves in any activities, in meaningful activities they found themselves throughout the state and throughout the country. Because without the youth, I don't know what the future of the country will look like. Because the youth of today, they are the ones that will become leaders in the nearest future. The message I'm passing to them now is that they should see themselves as one. And there is a popular saying that united we stand, divided we fall. Build the youth, build the nation.
Abu Jabbar?
Yeah, well, to my colleagues out there, the youth of Ogun State, the essence of today is to celebrate us. That means the essence of today is to celebrate us, is to celebrate our activities, is to appreciate the effort we are making. So they should continue making all those positive efforts to develop their community. And they should not forget that coronavirus is still much around. They should please stay safe, please stay safe and follow all governmental regulations to ensure that we have a free society. So congratulations to all of us. Happy International Youth Day. Build the youth, build the nation.
All right, build the youth, build the nation. I want to say congratulations to all the youth out there. Don't forget the theme globally is youth engagement for global action, and the sub-theme in Ogun State is youth legislative engagement for dividends of democracy. And we couldn't have had better guests in-house. We had Honorable Shola Adams, a member of Ogun State Assembly. He's the Deputy Chief Whip and also Chairman House Committee on Youth, Sports and Employment Generation. Honorable Shola Adams, thank you very much for having time to come to the program.
Thank you for having me.
And of course, Comrade Abu Jabbar Ayela Agbe, who is the State Chairman, National Youth Council of Nigeria, Ogun State Chapter. Thank you very much.
Thank you for
coming.
Charity,
And
another youth beside me.
Akim Akitide, Youth at Heart, thank you for coming on the program. And that will wrap up the program for this week. By next week, when we come back, it will be another time for exciting moments and a discussion that will bring positive change to our nation, Nigeria. Till next week.
Yes, I want to say, don't forget, Newdawn is on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so other set of presenters will be here for you on Friday. But as far as Charity and Hakeem Akitunde are concerned, it will be next Wednesday again.
So we'll see you. Hakeem, don't wear this native next Wednesday. Bye.